Okay, so this is just a short series to work on balance, and those of you that have come to my classes know that every class that we do, we put something to do with balance into the class because it is really important. So you don't need any equipment for this. There are alternatives that you can use equipment, which I'm going to show you in another video for those of you that have either the wobble boards or the bow shoes or anything like that. But for this, all you need is just a bit of space. So find yourself a space where you've got room around you and you can stand with your feet comfortably on the floor. It doesn't even have to be on a mat. Sometimes on a mat makes it a little bit more tricky, so the hard floor works just as well. So stand with your feet hip width apart, and we're just going to get our centre of gravity first of all. Imagine your spine has been lengthened all the way up through to the top of the ceiling, as if almost a hook at the top of your head is lengthening you, and just feel almost like every vertebra through your spine is just separating and lengthening up through your spine. Just try and tell your shoulders to relax. Make sure they're not sort of held right up by your ears. Keep your arms nice and relaxed, hands nice and soft by your side. And all we're going to do first of all is just take our centre of gravity forwards and backwards through your feet. So you're just going to rock your centre of gravity forwards so your toes are pressing into the mat, and then take yourself backwards so your heels are pressing into the mat. And you're just going to do a few of those. Just pushing the toes into the mat, push your heels into the mat. Okay. Try not to tense anything up through the upper part of your body. Keep your shoulders nice and soft. All that we're focusing on is just swaying the weight forwards and swaying the weight back. And we're going to make the movement a little bit bigger this time, and you're going to come forwards right onto your toes. So your heels just do a tiny little lift, and then back onto your heels so your toes start to curl up. So roll forwards, heels come up, take it back so that your toes come up. Two more of those. Heels come up, and then your toes come up. Last one, coming onto your toes, and then back onto your heels. Now this time we're going a bit further. You're going right up onto your toes. So you're going to lift so that your heels come right up. And again, rock back onto your heels. Come forwards, come right onto your ankles. Now, as you do this one, take note of what's happening at your ankles. Your ankles want to go relatively straight up. What we don't want to happen is any of this to happen. Okay, because that is going to damage the ligaments of the ankle, and it's not what we want to train your ankles to do. So try and draw a nice straight line with your ankles. And as we do this, we're going to progress it more. As you come forward, you're going to bring your arms up in front of you, and then sweep your arms back. Come up, and sweep the arms back. You can add some breathing into this if you want to. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. Just keep breathing. Don't hold your breath as you do any of this. So breathe out as you come up, and breathe in as you come back. Breathe out and breathe in. And see if you can get your arms to go a little bit higher this time. Breathe out as you go way up. Ooh, watch my ankles. And breathe in as you come back. Breathe out as you come up, and breathe in as you come back. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to change the movement of the arms this time, and we're going to move them alternate. So as you come forwards onto your toes, you swing one arm forwards, one arm backwards, and then come back down. One arm forwards, one arm backwards. So just keep this neutral position first of all, and again, just watch your shoulders haven't started to sneak up to your ears. Okay, and then we add in a little bit of a challenge. You're going to look towards your back hand. Okay, so this is where it starts to get tricky. Turn, look towards the back hand. Look towards the back hand as you raise up. So as we're at this point here, your feet are down. When you're at this point here, you're on your toes, coming down. Perfect. Lovely. One more on each side. Perfect. Just keep your arms nice and soft again. I'm going to focus onto the feet. We're just going to get you just to pedal through, just to release off. And as you're doing this, I want you to think about what's going on through your hips. And we're going to slow it down and just imagine that there is a spirit level going right across the top of your hips, and your hips are staying nice and level as you're pedaling through. That's it. What we're aiming to watch out for is that we don't end up with the catwalk pose and we end up shifting your hips from side to side. Keep it, there is going to be some movement, that's absolutely fine, there's a little bit of movement, but we're aiming to keep it as steady as possible. If it helps, just a little bit of connection, just a little bit of just almost drawing up on your pelvic floor, just to keep a little bit of engagement through that centre area here. Okay, and again, watching your shoulders come down, because we're going to bring the arms in as well now. So, whichever knee is bent, the opposite arm goes up towards the ceiling, and we're almost marching on the spot. Okay, lift through the arms, lengthen through the arms. At the same time, you're thinking your neck is nice and tall. We're keeping that body as level as possible. There will be some sidewards movement, but we're not making that hip sort of drop at all. So keep nice and steady, float the arms up, keep the shoulders nice and soft. Good. And let your arms relax there. Okay, so we'll take that into the next level. So get yourself balanced onto one of your feet. Take your other foot onto tiptoes so that you are balancing here. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Keep that nice posture. And when you're ready, you're just going to float one leg up. Ideally, so we're coming up to a nice 90 degrees. Just hold it there. You're going to really be challenging the ankles on the leg you're standing on, especially if you're standing on a mat. And this is a really good one to do on the floor to start off with, because you know sometimes the floor can be a little bit unstable, so the mat can be a bit unstable. So shoulders back, see if you can raise your leg up to 90 degrees on that same leg. Hold it there. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you can see if you can straighten the leg out and bring it back in and pop it back down again. We'll go on to the other leg. So starting position first of all. Pop your toes, one foot onto the ground, bend your toes onto the ground for the other one. Get that posture nice and lengthened, and when you're ready, you're going to bring the leg up. Now remember, one leg is always going to be stronger than the other, and you've probably chosen your good leg first, so be prepared to be a bit more wobbly on this leg. And then if you want a bit more of a challenge, you straighten the leg out. That's it, good. Bring it back in and pop it back down. Okay, so we're just going to move between the legs, see if we can just create a little bit of balance. So we're going to breathe out, lift the leg up, breathe in to prepare, breathe out, lengthen the leg away, breathe in, pop back down again. Good. Swap to the other side, draw in nice and tight, ready, leg comes up as you're breathing out, breathe in to prepare, breathe out to lengthen, breathe in and pop down. Good. That's it. Breathe out, breathe in to prepare, lengthen as you breathe out, and breathe in and pop back down again. Good, keeping nice and strong. Try not to shift too much. You can see I'm moving a little bit from side to side. That's okay to move a little bit, you just don't want to be completely sort of leaning over. So breathe in. Breathe out as you lengthen. Breathe in as it comes back up and pop down again. Okay, so that's a little bit of the prep work. Now what we're going to do is start to switch on our glute muscles. Okay, so we're going to go back onto the first leg that you want to start with. So rest the toes of the leg you're about to lift. Make sure you've got a nice good standing position. The leg that we're about to lift, put your hand onto your bottom so that you are literally just holding onto that bit there. Okay, and what we're going to do, first of all, before we completely lift, let's just make sure we can actually switch that muscle on. So keeping your foot on the floor, just going to pivot the leg out. So for this exercise, you need to keep your hips facing directly forwards. If you've got a mat, lining up with the edge of the mat. Otherwise, just try and imagine that your hips, they're like car headlights, facing forwards on the road the whole time. So hand is here. We're just going to open the leg out. Now, as you open, your glutes are not doing anything to start off with, really. It's only as it starts to get about here, and then that last bit, that you will feel your glutes start to activate and squeeze, and you should feel them going nice and solid underneath your hand, and then relax the knee back in. So as you open the leg, think about squeezing, drawing your glute in, and then releasing. And it's important that you do release, release, release as it comes back through. So open the leg, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Feel it work, and then release, release, release as it comes back through. Open the knee out, squeeze, 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 and then release back through. Last one on this side, open, slowly squeeze. Perfect. and then release back in. We swap onto the other side. So plant the leg, you're going to stand nice and comfortably onto your toes of the leg when you move. Hand goes onto your glute, check that it's working. And when you're ready, just pivot the knee out. So it's not going to feel anything to start with. It's about here, now it's starting to work. Now it's switching on. Squeeze, 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 and release. Keep your hips facing forward the whole time. So slowly open, squeeze, 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 perfect. And release, release, release. Good. Open, squeeze, and release as it comes back through. Good. Slowly open, and release. And the last one, just slowly open, squeeze, 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 perfect. And then relax back through. Okay, again, just walk up and down, or you might want to give your legs a little bit of a shake out just to loosen up through there. Okay, so now we're going to do glute activation with some balance as well. So we're going to imagine that we've got our point in front of us, a point to the side, and a point behind. So if I talk you through this, we are going to just do easy version first of all. Keeping your foot tapping, we're going to. So come into that position we just were in before. We're going to think about keeping all nice and lengthened, everything's in line, lifting the leg up, and we're going to tap to the front. Bring the leg back to the side. We're going out to the side. Now, watch, as you go out to the side, everything here stays level and we just tap to the side. What we don't want to do is this. Okay, so imagine there's a nice straight line going all the way through your body, that your tummy button, you're not going to try and sway too far from the side of that. So that's the tap to the side. Then the tap to the back. I'll just show you from the side first of all, you'll stay there. Your tap to the back is just tap to the back. What it's not is lengthening back or arching through here or letting your tummy come forwards. We have, in reality, your hip doesn't actually move that far back. So a tap to the back is literally tap back like that. Okay, pelvis stays level, just squeeze the glute. Okay, so the exercise is tap to the front, to the centre, tap to the side, tap to the centre, tap to the back, to the centre. Okay, so we'll do one more round like that, just as a prep. Okay, and we come to the front, to the side, you'll feel that muscle switch on there, to the back, you'll feel your glutes working now. There we go. Okay, now if you feel a little bit wobbly, stick at that level because that's still working everything. It's still challenging your balance. You've got lots of work going through your supporting leg and you're getting glute firing on that side. But if you want a little bit more of a challenge, what we're going to do is we're going to take that tap out. So we're going to see if we can balance. We push the leg to the front and it hovers. It comes into the side, out to the side, into the centre, slide it back. To the centre, 2 more rounds, to the front, into the centre, ooh, to the side, oh dear, there we go, to the centre, and to the back, good, and 1 more round. And if at any point you feel like you need to take it back to just tapping, then that is absolutely fine, perfect. Okay, take your balance onto the other side. Let's just prep first of all, check that we can keep nice alignment. So take your foot and tap to the front. Bring it back and then tap to the side, keeping yourself nice and in line. Come back to the centre and then going backwards, and we're watching that nothing, your tummy doesn't come forwards, pelvis doesn't roll forwards, and your glutes are switching on. So keeping your back relatively in neutral. Okay, so just practice one more time with the tap to the front, to the side, to the back. Perfect. Right, now your choice here. You can continue with the tapping or we go for the hover. So bring the leg up, go to the front, to the side, to the back. Perfect. Good. To the front, to the side, to the back. Squeeze your glutes. Perfect. Ooh. And again, at any point, if you feel you need to, you can go back to tapping. That is absolutely fine. And squeeze your glute as you go back. Perfect. Good. Right, shake your legs out a little bit more. We're just going to put a bit more movement through. So again, it still challenges balance. It's still working on the ankle strength. What we're going to do is we're going to take a nice deep breath in. Your arms are coming up. Just check my light shade there. That's it. And then you're coming back down. Good. So you're going to come all the way up onto your toes and then coming back down again. Good. All the way up and back down again. Right, now we're coming into a little bit of a squat. So as you come down, bend your knees, sweep your arms behind you. So from the side, we are going all the way up, coming down, keep your back. So this bit here, it doesn't want to overarch and you don't want to tuck under. You want to keep a nice straight spine. So up, coming down, up. Okay, a couple more. Perfect. Last one. Here we go. All the way up, lengthen as much as you can, and coming down. Perfect. Okay. So again, just relax out through your legs. One last little challenge that I'm going to give you for this set of exercises. We're going to take it back in, and this is a bit more of a challenge. So if you are quite wobbly, there are lots of variations for this one. We're going to go into a Superman stretch. So find yourself back onto that balance leg. Nice and lengthen through the spine, and when you're ready, you're going to float the knee up just to hold that position. From here, you are going to pivot from the hips, and as you pivot from the hips and tilt forwards, probably see it better from the side. So lifting the leg up, I've got space, pivot through from the hips, and you're going to come to lengthening forwards. Take the leg out behind you as far as you can, and see if you can lengthen your arms in front of you. Okay, we're aiming for sort of tabletop, but it doesn't matter how far you get. You're going to be really working your glute there as you lengthen. And then slowly come back in again. Perfect. Okay, then you will swap to the other side. So find your balance leg. Again, remember, you've probably chosen your strong leg first. So if at any point all you want to do is come to this point, that's fine. If all you want to do is just take yourself a little bit backwards and then just start to lengthen the leg out, and you just come into this position here, that's absolutely fine. But if you can pivot a little bit more, and then really try, this is definitely my wobbly leg, really try and lengthen that leg out behind you and try and get that Superman stretch. That is awesome. And up to you how long you try and hold that, but just be careful because the leg you are standing on will start to fatigue quite quickly. So again, just give it a little shake out. So that exercise is really just to work through ankle strength, switching on your glutes, and a little bit to challenge balance. So I hope you've enjoyed that.